Hello, traders. This is Dave with the Compass Options Trading Room and the Compass Options Text Alert Service. And I'm going to talk about the SPY Super System again tonight. I've done a few videos on this. It's a particular strategy you use inside the room. It's been extremely effective, and I just want to go over it and go over the strategy, go over the criteria, show you some of the results we've had with it. It's really a great way to enhance profitability that we have in the room, where we do basically short-term swing trades and intraday trades, but the SPY Super System is meant to trade the SPYs, the Qs, and IWM on a 5-minute chart, and these are fairly quick trades and have been working great. So we're gonna cover that right now. Again, this is the Compass Options Live Trading Room, the SPY Super System. Intraday trading. I call it the SPY Super System. It's really for the Qs, the SPY, and the IWM for all three of the indexes. All right, first thing I have to do, of course, is the disclaimer. All signals and trading opportunities we provide here are for educational and demonstration purposes only. Trading is very risky, so you should never trade with more money than you can afford to lose, and neither myself or Right Line Trading are licensed financial advisors, so we won't be giving financial advice. All right, again, this is just some couple of graphics. This is on the Compass Alert service that we have. I send out alerts on all the high probability trades that we take, and they can go to your phone, and you can follow along on the phone if you don't want to be in the room or can't be in the room. So we do have a couple of rules to trade by in the room and on the alert service. First thing is we trade the best and skip the rest, and there's a specific way to do this. We're only trading the very highest probability trade setups the institutions are in. That's our main focus, is to trade the same way the institutions are trading. Second thing is our objective is not to make trades. Our objective is to make money. This is meant to instill some patience in traders, so they're not feel like they have to be in a trade anytime they're anytime they're sitting in front of their computer. So again, it's meant to instill some patience. We also need an edge. Our edges here at the Compass Options Room and the Alert Service is we use the Right Line Compass system, which I'm going to show you here in a minute. This is where we get all our criteria from. This identifies when the institutions are in trades and when they're not. We also trade relative strength and relative weakness versus the SPY, not RSI, but trading the relative strength of the stock in relationship to how it's trading against the SPY. SPY going sideways and down, you have a stock that's going up, it's got relative strength, and vice versa. And we trade with the market trend if there is one, and we try to buy near support and sell near resistance. We don't chase. We wait for stocks to come back to us to a support or resistance level, and then join in the trend when it confirms that it's gone back into the trend. Okay, just a quick synopsis here. I do this every webinar I do. It's important for traders to understand that the market consists of many small traders like us, like myself, retail traders, and most likely everybody watching this is a retail trader. It's important to understand that we as retail traders, we cannot move the market. All we can do is, there's no institutions in there. We're just retail traders trading against each other. We're just causing chop and chaos, and we don't want to be in markets that have just retail traders in them. That's why we use the Compass system to let us know when the institutions are in. This is the institutions. This is who drives the market. This is your investment banks like Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan. It's also hedge funds, hundreds and hundreds of hedge funds with billions of dollars. It's also your pension funds, state pension funds, police pension funds, fireman pension funds, again, with hundreds of millions, billions of dollars to trade. And then lastly, there is your mutual funds, Vanguard, T. Rowe Price, etc. So that's what makes up institutions, and this is the folks that drive the market. They're made up of folks that work at a desk, but mostly it's made up of algos, computerized systems that are programmed to trade the market off of specific different criteria, and that's what's driving the market. So our job as a retail trader is to know when the institutions are in there and when they're not, and only trade with the institutions, because we're trading against these other retail traders and we're going to take money from them. And if we have better information that they don't have, or have information such as if the institutions are trading that they don't have, we're going to take money from them, and that's what we do. All right, and this is just kind of a note that algos have taken over the market. It's about 80–85% of the trades are being done by algos right now, which is computerized systems. They look at lots of different criteria, and they are actually can be programmed to basically take money from retail traders if they understand what retail traders are doing, which they do. You know, playing MACD crossovers and 3-crossing 8, etc. Many things that the algos can program to get you trapped into a trade and then reverse on you and take it right away from you. So our job is to know when the institutions are in there and follow them. That's what we do. All right, this is just kind of a quick view of the compass system. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. You'll see the compass system when we get to the charts, but this is what it is. That identifies the highest probability setups, both side-stepping setups that look good, but will fail more often than they succeed. And that's because we're only taking ones when institutions are in there. Again, it does this by identifying when the institutions are driving the move and when they're not. It analyzes some complex trading data and displays the results in easily identifiable visual format, which is really important because it makes it really easy even for novice traders to identify when institutions are in the trade and when they're not. Okay, so this is for the SPY super system. These are what we're going to be looking at, and I'm going to go over these on the compass system in a minute, which is basically a piece of software that's running on Thinkorswim that identifies these criteria. We're going to be trading the indexes, the SPY, the Q, and the IWM. All right, those are the 3 things that we're going to be looking to trade. We're going to be looking at another indicator that the compass system has called the current time frame momentum, and that's going to be shown in color. It's got red and yellow for short, and green and blue for long, and we can identify that on the chart, which I'll show you. We also are using 2 different support and resistance levels to trade off of. One is the VWAP. This is a really important support resistance level. All the institutions trade off of this. Price above the VWAP for longs, price below the VWAP for shorts. Really critical. This is one other thing that we need to look at. And then if this price has gotten away from the VWAP, in other words, it's too far away, then we switch to the 15 EMA of an EMA. This is a smooth 15 EMA, and this becomes support and resistance that can be used. All right, so those are the 2 levels that we're going to be using when the institutions are in the trade. Once they're in the trade, we're going to be bouncing off of one of these 2, and those are the ones that we're going to look at. There's one other thing, which is a pivot point. It's a white pivot point line that shows up on the chart. This would be a resistance or support level, and I use that more often than not to identify when I'm getting close to my price target. And if it's getting close to a pivot point, I'll go ahead and take profits. All right, see, these are the indicators that we're going to be using the SPY super system, right? And it's when you see it, it's really pretty straightforward. One thing that I want to cover is momentum, which is we're looking at the current time frame momentum. That's that key indicator. Momentum is critical in determining if institutions are in the trade or not. But many traders don't really understand what constitutes momentum. So I'm going to show you what it is really, because a lot of traders think it's just if the stock's moving up consistently, green after green after green, that's got momentum, or moving fast, it's got momentum. But that isn't how you judge momentum. This is how momentum is judged. These are candlesticks. So what we've got here is this is a candlestick where your open is here, the black. This is the high, and the close is here on the blue line. That's where it's closed. Next candle, we opened here, went as high as here, and closed on here. Notice that the close of the candle is getting closer and closer to the high of the candle as we go through the trading here. So as the close gets closer to the high, this is called momentum. This is what it shows you that institutions are in there buying, and it can get right to the very top. But this is what you're looking for. So that's an upward momentum right here that we have a good stock with good momentum. This is a bearish momentum. You can see that the close, it gets closer and closer to the low coming down. So that's a deceleration or a bearish momentum. So that's what when I look at the current time frame momentum, that is what it's going to be looking for. Okay. All right. So the SPY super system setup criteria that we use. We're going to be looking at the 3 indexes, and if we're going to go long, we're going to trade the strongest index of the day: SPYs, Qs, IWM. Just whichever one is up the most, that's the one we're going to trade. If we're going short, we're going to trade the one that's down the most. This is generally what we're going to do. Now, obviously, it depends upon whether the particular index is close to a resistance level. If it's close to a resistance level, you might have to switch off from that one and go to another one. And what we're going to do here is we're going to enter when the current momentum indicator changes from red or yellow to blue or green. So when the current momentum indicator changes from bearish, which is red or yellow, to bullish, blue or green, then that was where we would be looking to take a long. All right, that's telling us that the institutions went from buying to selling on the current momentum. And we're going to enter when the current momentum indicator changes from blue or green to yellow or red for a short. All right, so from bullish to bearish, we're going to be taking it. And this will all be very clear when I show you the charts here in a minute. So if you're going long, the index should be up for the day, the SPY, the Q, the IWM, and you can take counter trend trades. I mean, I can take trades if the stock is below the VWAP, for example, and the stock is red for the day, but the current momentum is switched to bullish. In other words, the institutions are buying, even though I'm below the VWAP. I will take counter trend trades, and with the VWAP as being the stop level or my profit target level. But so we can take counter trend trades for the short or for the long on these day trades. But generally speaking, the SPY should be above the stock should be above the VWAP for longs and below the VWAP for shorts. But we can do some counter trend trading in this, and I'll show you some of those when we get into the examples. All right, so the best entry setups we just covered, right? The strongest index is up for the day, the weakest index down for the day. We're looking for the current momentum indicator to switch from bearish to bullish, from the institutions going from selling to buying, or going from buying to selling. That's what the current time frame momentum tells us. If we're going long, the index should be green for the day. Generally speaking, you want to go long on an index that's green for the day, and if you're going short, you would prefer to take it red for the day because you're basically trading with the trend when you do that. Again, the stock price should be above the VWAP for long and below the VWAP for short. This is generally the scenario that we're going to follow. This is what's going to give us the highest probability of having success on the SPY super system trade. All right, so these are the SPY super system. These are the best entry setups. All right, there's two high probability setups that we're going to trade. For longs, we take the strongest bullish index. We find a price moving up through the VWAP or bouncing off the VWAP after a pullback. All right, it's going through the VWAP on the way up, or it's come down to the VWAP and bouncing back up into a bullish trend again. And the current momentum indicator must be blue or green. Now, it could have stayed. It could have been blue or green when the reversal got. When you get to the VWAP, it might have already been blue or green, or it could just switch to blue or green on this particular candle. Either one of those is works, right? Or if the VWAP is out of range, then we're going to be looking for the 15 EMA. So the strongest bullish index is price moving up through the 15 EMA or bouncing off the 15 EMA after a pullback, and the current momentum indicator must be blue or green. All right, so these are the two long setups using the VWAP and using the 15 EMA. And I'm going to show examples of these, and it's going to be very clear when you see them. This is the shorts. Basically, it's going to be exactly the opposite. We're going to take the weakest bearish index. You know, if the Qs are the weakest, we trade that. If the SPY is the weakest, we trade that. The price should be moving down through the VWAP or bouncing off the VWAP after moving up to it. So, you know, basically, it's just breaking down below the VWAP, so you're bearish. The current momentum indicator must be yellow or red, and it could have just turned yellow or red, or have been yellow or red for a few candles. All right, or if we're away from the VWAP, then we use the 15 EMA, and it can be moving down through the 15 or bouncing off the 15 after a move up, and the current momentum indicator must be yellow or red. It could have just turned yellow or red, it could already be yellow or red, but it's got to be, there has to be selling on the current momentum indicator. All right, so those are the two systems, the two setups for longs and shorts. So I'm going to show you some examples here, just so you can see what these actual trades look like. Now, this is the compass system on thinkorswim that I have on my thinkorswim platform, and it looks really busy, but we're only using a few things here for the SPY super system. This is the current time frame momentum right here. This arrow is pointing it. This is the current time frame momentum, and you see it's red and it goes to blue and then it goes to green. This is bearish. This is bullish. It goes red to blue. That's a bullish change. Institutions selling, institutions buying. So that's the current time frame momentum. That's our key indicator that we're going to use. Second thing we're using is, in this particular case, it's the VWAP. See the volume weighted average price, the pink line. This is the volume weighted average price. This is where we're looking to get in for a long here. Now, in this particular trade, as the index here, as the current time frame momentum went from red to blue, institutions selling, institutions buying, I noticed that the price is moving up through the VWAP and the 15, as a matter of fact, right there in that arrow. And the compass system also puts in a pink arrow here, which is a pop out of the box, or a pop symbol, which is telling you that the stock is breaking out of compression. And that gives you even a higher probability if you're taking a trade as it breaks out of compression. And we have the 15 EME here that I'm also marked. But that's all you're looking at. You're looking at the current time frame momentum, you're looking at the VWAP or the 15 EMA, and you're looking for a break above that, and you're just looking at this going from selling to buying, just like it right did there on that candle. This is where we took the trade on the SPY, and we rode this SPY up, 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 and we get out right here as it kind of gets extended away from a little bit from the 15 EMA. It's getting a little extended, and then we go to basically a doji candle, and then a little red candle. This is where we get out. So this is the one I did on the 9th of August. This was $220 per contract profit on this particular SPY super system trade on the SPY 5-minute chart. Again, multi-time current time frame momentum you're interested in. You're interested in the VWAP and or the 15 EMA. You're looking for this to go from, in this particular case, from selling to buying. See, I wouldn't take it here. I wait until it tells me the institutions are buying. All right, so that's the setup. Those are the indicators we're looking for, and I'll go through some more trades so that you can see exactly the same thing here. All right, so this was another one. This was on 8/23. On this one here, this is a right here. If you see how we're yellow, it's already yellow and red. So this is bearish already. It's already gone from buying to selling. So the institutions are selling the SPY right now. And you see how the VWAP is right here? You notice how it's breaking below the VWAP, and that's a blue arrow up there. That's a pop out of the box symbol that it's breaking compression to the downside. This is where I take it, right here. All right, now this is a pivot point here, so I have to be aware of this pivot point because I got to watch it when it gets close to that. That would be a support level. But we break down right here, and I take it. And what I'm looking for is I'm looking for it to stay below the 15 EMA. I don't want it to break above the 15 EMA. Once it's breaking down below it here. So I watch it and I stay in the trade, and it stays below the 15. It popped up above it, but closed below it. It closed below it. It closed below it. So I stay in this trade. I stay in this trade, and then I get a little bit of a flush here. And this is where I'm watching very carefully to see if this pivot point holds. As long as it stays there and doesn't start to go up, I'm going to stay in it. So, and I get another pop out of the box right after that. Notice this is staying red the whole time. This is telling me the institutions are selling. So we take it down, we take it down. Now I'm getting a little bit of a green candle right here. So I'm out of the trade right there. And this was good for $280 of profit per contract. You know, if you take 10 SPY contracts, that's $2,800. That's a pretty nice little move there. And again, you can see the selling was going on the whole time in this current time frame momentum. Very important. All right, here's another one right here. This is the same one. Let's see. No, this was another one. This was SPY. Oh, this was the IWM. We took the IWM on this one. All right, so here we are with the current time frame momentum. You notice it's red. Selling is going on. Now they switched to buying, so the institutions are starting to buy here. All right. This, by the way, is a multi-time frame momentum. I don't really use this for the SPY super system. I use it for all the other trades. SPY super system. This is all I'm interested in because I'm trying to catch a quick move. So it goes from red, it goes to blue. So now I know the institutions are buying. So I'm looking for a break above the VWAP. It's right above the VWAP here. And then I here where I catch it, where it breaks above the VWAP with a pop out of the box symbol. This is where I took it. I could have taken it here. I don't think I saw it in time. So I took it right here. And then I ride this up. And again, it's coming off the 15 EMA and the VWAP. And I want it to stay above the VWAP, the 15 EMA. It stays above it, stays above it, stays above it, stays above it, pops up here. Get a little tail, little wick on this candle, and then I get out right here as I get a red candle. $150 a contract on IWM. That's another nice SPY super system trade. This was one on 9/9. This was fairly recent. This was the triple Qs. And I'm looking at look at the current time frame momentum. They're buying. Now they switch to selling right here, this yellow, right? And then it goes to red. But I'm looking for a breakdown. And the way I took this is I was so close to the pivot point, I waited for it to break below the pivot point. So it broke below the VWAP. It broke below the 15, but I took it right here on this pop out of the box symbol, the compression break, as it broke below the this pivot point. And so that was kind of a line in the stand I was going to use. So I get in right here and I rode this thing down, kind of compressed and compressed and compressed. And I get out right here as I started to get a green candle, $110 a contract, not a huge amount, but a fairly short-term trade. And then it reversed and headed back up again right here. So this is when you could have gone long on, but the VWAP is too close. There's not enough runway to the VWAP from where it is now. So we took this short. Okay, this is another Q trade. Yeah, this is a Q trade here. On the Qs, this is again, there was buying already in the current time frame momentum. I took it right here as it broke above the VWAP, waiting for it to break above the VWAP. I take it. I want it to stay above the VWAP, and then I want it to stay above the 15 as the 15 crosses through the VWAP and moves up. I get in it here, and I just follow this up, follow it up, follow it up, follow it up. Get a red candle here. It's getting kind of flat. I go ahead and take profits on that, $150 a contract on the SPY Super System trade on that was on 9/9. This was a 9/4. I don't have these in sequence, but this was a $190 profit on this one. And again, you can see the breakdown below the VWAP here, and you can see the break here. I took it here, even though the pivot point was down here. I had quite a bit of space between here and the pivot points as it broke below the 15. I wanted to stay below the 15. I wanted to stay below the pivot point, which it did. And it comes down, comes down, comes down, and I get out. Now, this is a fairly short trade here, $190. But I mean, on the SPY, that's a pretty nice move. Notice this is where it went yellow right here. This is where I took the trade, as it went from buying green to selling yellow, and it stayed yellow with red all the way across here until I get out of the trade. All right, so these are the setups that we get. Again, I've got several of them like this. This was one on, again, done on the 20th, this very recent. I took this actually long. I could have actually taken it short here as it broke below the VWAP, but I took this one long. I think this SPY was up that day. But you see how it went from red to blue here? It went from selling to buying. Right here as we broke below the VWAP. I broke above the VWAP, so I take it right here. This, by the way, is the 50 EMA, 50 SMA. I do not use that on a 5-minute chart. Goes from red to blue. I get a pop out of the box symbol. It goes above the VWAP. I take the trade right here. I just stay with it as long as it stays above the VWAP, which it does. I'm watching to see if it closes below the VWAP. It does not. And then the 15 kind of takes over, so I ride it up here, and this is where I get out of it, right here. On this, I probably could have rode it a little bit longer because it was still green, but I did choose to take it off there and took $190 a contract profit. All right, so that's the SPY Super System using the compass system on TOS, Thinkorswim. In my room, I display this. My room is open all day from market open to market close. I display the indexes all day long. I answer questions for all the folks. I call out the SPY Super System trades when I see them setting up, as well as other trades that we take. We hit Caterpillar today. We closed out Caterpillar. We get in at $13.50, and we get out for $23.50 this morning after 2 days. We also had U today, which went from 220 to 350. That was another big trade. But this is the results of the SPY Super System, and these are intraday trades. I use these for quick trades in the room for folks that want to make some trades when we're basically waiting. We're waiting for other things to set up. So I take these SPY Super System trades. You can see them. I call them out. You can see them on the chart, and I also have a video on these the exact setups for doing these SPY Super Systems. So this was I started quantifying these in July. I didn't have records on these before because I was doing them myself. I wasn't even showing in the room. I didn't know there'd be a lot of interest in people trading the indexes in the day trading room. but there are people are very interested in doing this. So I started quantifying it. We did 16 and 0 for July. That was like a half a month. 2,000 invested in each trade, produced 25.96. The August super system results: 49 wins, 5 losses, 2 scratches. 2,000 invested in each trade, produced 82.01. And this is September to date. This is up through I think yesterday. 37 wins, 3 losses, 2 scratches. 2,000 in each trade has produced $6,850 in 15 days. So these are a really nice way to add to the profits that we get in the regular trades in the room. I don't put these in my totals for the room or for the alert service. I keep them separate. But anybody who's trading these can obviously keep them there. I just keep these separate, but they're not included in my monthly results on the Compass Options Room or the Compass Alert Service, because they're separate, and I don't do alerts on these because they're too quick. There's no way I can get an alert out on these. So one of the nice things is with the SPY Super System, you only have one trade on at a time, and they're going to be very short durations. So a lot of people come into the room and they can't be there all day. You know, they have a job, or they can only be in for an hour or 2 in the morning, an hour in the afternoon. This gives them the ability to go ahead and do SPY Super System trades inside the room if they miss out some of the other trades we take just because they're not there. So this is this is pretty nice profits for this. And again, I just use 2,000 as a baseline. You know, obviously you could trade a lot smaller than that, a lot bigger than that. But these are pretty nice trades. The profit factor on these so far is running over 6, which is really high. So that's the SPY Super System. Great system to use. If you can actually buy the Compass system and put it on your own Thinkorswim platform and find them yourself, or you can be in my room and see them called out right in the air every day. We do this 5 days a week from market open to market close. So again, thanks very much for listening to the video. I hope we get the chance to see you in the room and you get a real close-up view of the SPY Super System and how it works. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great evening.